Okay, Wayne, I guess you're wrapping things up today on the movie.
Yes.
How have you enjoyed your stay now in Fredericton?
Oh, I've loved it. I think it's lovely here, you know. The most amazing part of it to me is that you haven't had any snow, and here we are in the middle of December. You know, it's almost Christmas time, and and the weather's just been, I mean, it was like spring a couple of days ago, you know.
And that's quite unusual. I think you brought some of the weather with you.
I did. I'm very good about that. I'm very lucky when it comes to weather. We were shooting a picture in Paris once, and generally in the latter part of September and October, a large cloud moves in over Paris, you know, and sort of anchors itself to the Eiffel Tower. And we had to shoot in the Bois de Boulogne there, you know, in that beautiful area around there. So it was sunny the entire time. The day I left, bingo, they had a snowstorm. So it was amazing. So beware. I'm leaving tomorrow, so you're liable to have, you know, the snow will come.
Have you had a chance to see some of the sights around the city?
No, I haven't. You know, we've been working, as you know, these rather strange hours where we start and then work through till about 11 at night or 12 at night and things like that. And so, you know, that sort of bites into your fun time.
Exactly. Tell me a little bit about the plot of the movie and what your role as a character is in the movie.
Well, are you familiar with Gaslight? Or that film? Well, this is the story of a woman who everyone thinks is going crazy, and the audience should certainly think so. And in fact, you don't know this. I played the husband. Bo Derek plays my wife, and you realize later, right near the end of the picture, that I'm really driving her crazy, and I'm really a villain of, you know, terrible, terrible things. But hopefully they won't believe that until they get to the end of the picture. You know, villains never know they're villains in a picture. So I play this like I'm the nicest guy in the world.
Great. I know quite a while back you did the M.A.S.H series.
Mm-hmm.
Did you enjoy doing that?
M.A.S.H? Oh, I love the M.A.S.H. M.A.S.H is wonderful. You know, it comes out, as we are sitting here now talking, it's playing somewhere in the world. It's amazing. M.A.S.H and I saw in what is the magazine? People magazine. Yeah, that they said it was the highest rated television, most popular television show of all time. So I feel very lucky, you know. Yeah.
I know a lot of actors who have done movies or actually series have end up getting typecast and things like that. Do you ever have that problem?
I don't think so. I mean, I played a funny guy, nice funny guy in M.A.S.H, a little outrageous, a little crazy, impulsive, that kind of guy. Here I'm playing a psychopath, so I don't think it's affected me.
You get recognized a lot in public?
Oh, yes, all the time, yeah.
How do you deal with that?
An actor has got to expect that. You are in the public eye, and you just hope that people don't come up and interrupt you while you're in the middle of a meal or you're in the middle of a conversation or something like that. But most of the time, people are very, very courteous, I think, and very nice. And generally, they want to just say hello and get an autograph or something like that. And for the most part, unless it's a drunk or somebody who gets a little, out of line or something like that. But for the most part, people are very respectful, I think.
Are you looking forward to going back home?
Yes, because it's Christmas time, and I get to see I have a grandson.
Oh.
I'm a grandpa, so I'm very excited about seeing my grandson. So yes, I think at Christmas time, every family loves to be together. It's a time when families get together and enjoy each other, and I think that's a great period. Whether you're an actor or whoever you are,
Now, what's coming up in the future for you? Any other projects in the works?
Well, I've got another picture I did, but it hasn't been released yet, and then I've got 2 pictures. In the movie business, until you get a start date, you don't know. Or as some guy once said to me, he said, until you've been paid for the job that you did, you don't know whether you did it or not. So, because the picture business is very precarious, and you start out and say, oh, we're going to do this thing, everybody's wonderful, and then something happens, it all falls apart. They can't get the location, they can't do this, it gets put off. I once was to do a picture called, what the heck was the name of that picture? It'll come to me. Anyway, And it kept getting postponed and postponed. And then I had another picture that I was supposed to do. So what you do in the movie business, you have a start date and a stop date. And the start date says, okay, you've got to start by such and such a time so that you know that you're not prevented from doing something else. And you have a stop date at a certain particular time so that you know that that's the end of it, so that if you've got a commitment beyond that, you can go on and do that. So generally in your contract it sets out that there's a start date and a stop date. This particular picture, they kept moving the start date until there was no time left, so I couldn't do the picture because I had another commitment that I had to do. And particularly when you're doing a television series like M.A.S.H. or something like that, because you only have so much time in between, you know, from the time you start production for the next season. So you have to, put dates in there.
Which do you prefer, not working in television or in movie?
Well, it's all the same to me. The difference, of course, is in the time. If you get time to rehearse, then it doesn't matter. The biggest problem in television is you don't have enough time to rehearse. Whereas in feature films, you do get a chance, generally, to rehearse. And the rehearsal is where it all happens for an actor, you know. Once it's made, it's printed, it's gone, that's the end of it. Now on the stage, you know, you get an opportunity to do that again every night. So you're constantly thinking of ways to improve, you know, to do certain moments. And every day you're a different person, something, you've had some experience. You can't say that on the day that everything is wonderful and the next day your father passes away and you're carrying that somewhere in your mind. You can't, I guarantee you, I don't care who you are, your performance, whether you're playing Hamlet or King Lear or whatever the hell you're playing, your performance that night is going to be somewhat different. And to the extent that you're sensitive to that, those differences are what color the performance, you know. And but in the movies, you don't get a chance to rehearse. You don't have a chance to explore all of the possibilities. And I'm one of those actors who likes to do it wrong 9 ways before I come back to the 10th way, which is the way I think it should be. Because if you don't ever have a chance to explore all of those other areas, then your performance is going to be just monolithic and, you know, set. And I don't think that's very interesting. I like to be in the position of not knowing what I'm going to do, but having rehearsed all of those so that when something happens with the other actor, I go with whatever that is that I'm getting, you know.
Well, you're a great actor, Wayne. I certainly thank you for taking the time
Well,
to talk to us.
thank you, Gary.
Best of luck in the future.
Thank you. Okay.
Sit back.
No, that's fine. I like that. Maybe you could...
By the way, I understand that the industry here in New Brunswick, that everybody, you know, there's a move on to try to attract production here to New Brunswick.
Government's pumping out a lot of money to bring, you know, movies.
Well, that's very smart because, of course, in Toronto, 1916 over in Vancouver, and you think of the amount of dollars.
Oh, there's a lot. Plus, the American dollar is worth $1.50 up here.
So it's a huge thing. There's a big cry in California, you know, to stop everybody from running to Canada to make movies. They're not going to stop that. I made a movie last year in Prague, in the Czech Republic, a remake of Jack the Ripper called Love Lies Bleeding is the name of it. By the way, that should be out soon. You were asking me earlier. That picture's a picture I made. People in Hollywood are going to make pictures where, not in Hollywood, I mean, no pictures are made in Hollywood anymore, but they're going to make pictures, you know, wherever it's the least expensive to make. In fact, I made a Canadian picture in Jamaica about 3 or 4 years ago. It was financed by Canadians, but it was made in Jamaica because believe it or not, you're talking about the U.S. dollar versus the Canadian dollar. The Canadian dollar, the Jamaican dollar at that time was selling for 29 cents versus the Canadian dollar. So for, you know, $10 million, for $2.9 million, they get a $10 million picture in effect, you know. So, yeah.
I just thought of one more question. I'll get you to look at Gary. Just what's it like working with Tan and Bo Derek?
Oh, yeah.
What's it like with working? She's wonderful. Bo is wonderful. And by the way, everybody thinks of Bo Derek as being this, you know, absolutely extravagant-looking lady. She's a wonderful actress. She's just terrific. And I think that people like Bo who are so beautiful and sex objects, you know, in many ways, don't get the respect and the accolades that they should get for their skill. She's a wonderful actress and a consummate professional. You know, she's just good. She's a good lady.
So you've seen a lot of people. You've done a lot of these interviews?
Oh, good Lord. I've made in my lifetime probably 400